Hello. What about you?
Hello?
I thought the whole purpose of trying to do podcasts was you get soundproof rooms. You didn't do it in big tinny sheds, but here we are rocking it.
Yeah, under a big tinny shed.
How many people do podcasts with glorious tractors behind them?
Not many that I know of, anyway.
Yeah, so
A lot
we're
of John Deere's on here for glorious tractors now, to be honest.
3.
That's 3 too many.
Stop, would you? Hello, everybody, and welcome to some form of a GRASSMEN Echoey podcast from the new barn. But we wanted to just have a wee reflection on our year at GRASSMEN, and the main men sat down with me, and I'm going to try and lead a wee bit of a conversation about the year, what we get up to, what each person's favourite bits were, including my own, and try and talk a little bit about where I think we are going in 2025, because 2025 is a massive year for us. It's going to be 15 years of GRASSMEN. So, let's get the ball rolling. Just going to ask some quick fire questions. I want you to try and come up with some answers. Connor, favourite moment of 2024?
Don't know. I was abroad anyway. I haven't decided whether it's America, whether it's New Zealand, whether it's Australia, but it's one of the 3.
Oh, so it wasn't going to see Glenn Wallace then?
Well, that's up there too. I wouldn't say not just my favourite moment. All the same. Although to be fair to Glenn, that was my first video, so I have to rank it somewhere. Like,
Very good. Okay, so you're going America, Australia, or New Zealand? One of the 3.
I would say probably New Zealand. New Zealand was always the dream whenever I was a cub.
Yeah.
And Brooke at Bluegrass sort of gave us the chance to drive his 970. Like, that was, you don't really, not too many other boys say they get driving a Harvester in New Zealand, so I think that has to be up there.
I am going to jump in here now and say I received a video of Craig trying to drive Pan Eagles.
That's a good one.
970, is that as well?
960.
960. His new 960 though.
Yeah.
And it was not very good now, Craig. There was grass, literally. When you were alongside me in the John Deere, you messed up the gear change in the Massey and we hit the roof. But there's a fairly short distance between the cab of a tractor and a silage trailer. You managed to get grass over the roof of the semi-truck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's a fair distance between the truck and the trailer that you were filling into.
But do you know what it is? I have a great CV of harvester driving at the minute. Like, I've driven one in America, I've driven one in Australia, and I've driven one in New Zealand.
And is that on the CV when you apply to some of these boys for a job?
Well, I don't think I will just make that CV, but I could if I wanted to. Yeah.
Same question to you, Craig. Favourite moment of 24?
I really enjoyed driving the 970 at Monks with Charlie Bird. That was good.
Ah,
fun.
Charlie. In my opinion, Charlie is a legend. Mm-hmm. He's not just someone that we've just videoed, and we know when we were there before we got to know Charlie and his team, but got to spend some time there, myself with Charlie, and even on the other side, Charlie being over here with Sam doing some interviews, got to spend some time, and he's salt of the earth there, and he would take his time and sort of. He would understand that you had no experience and help you get onto it. So you're rating that as your favourite moment?
Yeah, like, he didn't just let me loose. He sort of sat beside me and explained why you do certain bits, and I learned how to roll out metal because there's plenty of it in Australia.
Wow. Yeah, I do get the whole needing to explain it to you all the same.
Yeah.
Well, my favourite moment, and this is going to sound really surreal, is actually, for once, not machinery related in terms of silage harvesters, Australia, New Zealand, and them. It's actually Austrian Alps, Italy, and being there and seeing the snow machines. But even that, as much as that was brilliant with Prenoth, and looking at the machines and spending time on the clamp, it was the coming right down off the rat race and spending time on that small dairy farm with the small herd of fleckfish feeding the green hay and the 3-point parlour, which we just look at and go, that's serious. But like, it was just something so, honestly, going to sound really, really lame here, but beautiful about it, or in a real nice way. And they could make it all work. You know, they were able to work the slopes at night, you know, had their wee guest house, lots of visitors during the ski season, lots of visitors stayed in the guest house. Like, they were living comfortably.
Yeah.
And it was just so mint. And to see the alpine range of machinery in the shed, you know, we're used with everything so big. And when we go to these factories like SIP, where we've been, Pottinger, probably particularly Pottinger, you always see these ranges of light alpine machines, but you never really think anything of them. You just walk on past because it's not the heavy-duty, beefed-up Irish version that we need here. That was my most surreal moment. It was just, I think it's just after so many years' experience doing this, it was just something so different. Now, machinery, favourite, I think for me had to be getting to know the 8400 wagon on my own, left alone for once, to go out and have some fun. But I've given you two favourites there, but I'm allowed to. I'm the chief. Worst moment. When were you ready to cry, throw in the towel? I'm going to bury my head here.
I would say flying home from America. Like, I would say it's a long, long time since I ever cried. I think it was over a dog dying. And getting that plane coming home from America, I just could regret. I just had no intention of coming home.
You could have stayed in America.
Oh, easy. I could have stayed on any of them.
What about, okay, so coming home from, because I was going to say, like, physically, coming home from America isn't that big a challenge in comparison to coming home from New Zealand in terms of the flight, but that's not what you mean.
No, it wasn't even actually the challenge. Don't get me wrong, the flight's nothing to write home about. Like, coming home from New Zealand the first flight was 17 and a half hours or something.
That was, yeah.
Like, I think we were away for, say we were away 3 weeks, we had 11 flights inside 3 weeks. You know, it's scandalous, like, but it was the fact that knowing you're leaving New Zealand to come back to
Cold.
this here. I might not be on the phone to my ma one evening and just says, look, ring the old boy, tell him to sell the sheep, I'm not coming home. You step off a plane and it's 3 degrees and nah, not a vibe.
There's no place like home all the same.
Okay, when it's good, like, but it's...
Were you glad to get home, Craig, then? That's not your worst moment?
No, definitely not, no. I don't even know what my worst moment is.
Has to have been a tough one. An edit not going right or something.
There's no such thing as a bad day at GRASSMEN.
You're here a year and haven't seen me grumpy yet?
Haven't broke man yet.
I don't know, nothing memorable enough anyway. Nothing sticks out in my head anyway.
Well, then describe.
What about the day the borer broke down in the MOT? Does that count?
That was...
Aye, that was rough.
yeah.
Does that count? No.
Well, it doesn't really count as a day at GRASSMEN.
No.
But that was your worst day of the year.
Probably up there, like, but we still managed to get it MOT.
Well, you haven't told us what your worst day was, but what's a bad day? You know, what's a day that you're you know, things you're just like, I've had enough of this crap. Is it, you know?
Well,
and you're not allowed to mention me or Ruth in this.
like, you could be out trying to get something filmed, and you could be under a lot of pressure to get it done, and you just arrive and nothing goes right. There's times you arrive out somewhere and just even the contractor we're filming might be having a real bad day, and we don't get or struggle to give them justice whenever things aren't going great on their end.
I would say weather. For me, it's weather related. That I know we're struggling for maybe content, and I know you boys are revved up, ready to go, and we video and we want it out. I mean, like Bluegrass, as an example of a video, was out by the time this is out a couple of weeks ago, and that was literally as soon as you come home from New Zealand, you fired that edit out. That's an important aspect of what we do. I believe that we need to try keep the stuff as current as possible. I personally like that, but that does put us under pressure.
Look, it is a rat race, like, at times, and whenever you're trying to keep a video queue up as well, you know, like, realistically, we do 90% of the filming, and it's doing that and trying to keep the editing up, and as you say, like, you're fighting the weather, the contractors fighting the weather, you land out, the harvesters just broke down. Like, I mind going to England at a time, and BBC weather was given sunshine the whole week, and you're sitting in the Jeep looking out, and the rain's lashing off the window, and you're like, there's two of us sitting here. You know, it takes money to go to these places, and you're sitting just watching the rain wash away your dreams that week, and you're like, why am I doing this?
Favourite video of the year? Doesn't have to be one you specifically made, but where would you say your favourite video was?
I would say, and it'll sound stupid, but probably the Toberdone slurry video. Like, we rattled through that in a day, and realistically it was editing the guts of a day, and it was a bravely at shift, you know, but it turned out a pretty good video, like, and my friends liked the song that was on it too, so I'd say Toberdone. Plus I'm friends with Adam, so it's probably a bit biased.
Yeah.
That was probably that.
I know those boys going back as well. What's your answer to that?
Mine's Quinn Brothers contract.
Goosey? Here, what a brilliant video it was.
Unreal.
Goosey Quinn, legend, and Harry.
Yeah.
Like, going back to you saying about the weather, like, we had it off that day, I think you and Ruth were in Englandshire or something, and we had it off, and we were mad to get filming, and it lashed the whole way from Ballymena to Portmanone, and we were like, we're getting nothing here.
I thought we were in for disaster, to be honest.
Like, I have a Snapchat on my phone of, like, the canopy pulled over Craig doing the rollers and him hanging out the back, like, on his belly, like.
But it cleared up.
Yep.
And we made a great video out of it.
Yeah.
See, the Quins would be local to me, so it's just like everyone knows them around me, and it's the one that all my friends from home would have talked to me about, and they said this is great. So it's just
There's a lot of very positive feedback on that video now. It's great to see because it's like a modern, old school type of approach.
Yeah.
Or an old school modern approach. I don't know what way you word that. My favourite video, I really don't have a favourite video, but I'll tell you one of the ones I enjoyed the most was possibly two. And they're different style videos, but I think it's what I enjoy doing. One was with the McHale Fusion baler. I mean, I never was a baler man. I never professed to be a baler man. I don't particularly enjoy baling. That's what I'm getting at. Like, it's something that I've no love for, but I have a most massive respect for the company McHale and their Fusion product. I mean, I'm smart enough to know that is some bit of kit. But for me, who doesn't know them and love them, to get the 820 Fendt tidied up and to have Mike and James come up from McHale and spend the time and explain it to me in a way that I think I could regurgitate it all back to you now and get me up in it and had me bailing, even though I lost a bale spectacularly.
just about to say my favourite bit was when the bale jumped the hedge.
But
Like the Grand National at one stage.
like that was steep.
Yeah, it was.
And I thought I had it, and then I was so gutted. I was so... I was like, I rings Craig, and he goes, Craig, did you get that? Oh, yeah.
Just about.
Like-
It took off that quick.
Like, the hedge went down and come straight back up again. It was mighty. But that was one of my favourite videos. Also, we videoed with JCB as well, and I really enjoyed that. How will I describe it? The way the companies like what you do, and we don't ever ask money from these guys, and we do it because we love it. We do it because we want to do it. But when you go to these guys and they spend the time and they show you around their factories, they give you the machines to play with. I love it. There was a video come out last year, but I think we videoed it the year before. It was the case trip, St. Valentine. I know we had a few technical issues with that video reference, audio and sound, but actual visit to the factory was phenomenal. And I must admit, that's probably one of my favourite bits of it. Don't get me wrong, I love sitting down and watching the likes of Bluegrass there at the weekend, but I I watched that like on Saturday night, literally the evening before it went out, because I knew once you said it was approved, I was happy. You know, and everybody sticks to that sort of the golden rules of the do's and the don'ts of editing. And it was just a nice video, and I just thought to myself, what a nice place to be, what a lovely place. I could go and drive one of those cases. Might get driving one next year. Big Jimmy Mackay bought a case.
So I hear.
Yeah, CVX, he's going big, boys. So he is. What's your favourite type of video to film and edit?
The ideal video for me is probably that sort of fast-paced grass video with a real head case in the middle of it, because it's just an absolute gift. You know, if you have somebody who can talk the talk or even talk nonsense, and you have a harvester flying up a field, like you take, I think it was maybe Wickham's. I think that was a cracking video.
It was.
That's the best going harvester I've ever seen in my life.
Actually was. And we probably should have, because we probably should have referenced that. She was the right colour. I think I pushed for you to go there because they had her painted in
Anniversary
the
colours.
anniversary colours. What's your answer to best type of video to make, Craig?
Probably the same, to be honest. As long like anything with loads of footage is brilliant. They edit. That's
I know that,
dream.
yeah, and I know a lot of people come on and they say, oh, it's grass, but it really is hard to beat.
Aye.
And the statistics show it.
Oh, 100%.
Silage, grass is hard to beat.
Aye, or something scenery, like you go to the likes of, anybody with a good talker, really. You go to Killins, you go to McConaughey's, any of them boys, like, it's like, you jump in with Adam Killen, you ask him what his name is, and you're gone, like,
Johnny's exactly the same.
you sit there and look at them for an hour and just staying on.
That was a gift.
One of my favourite videos, you actually did, Craig, was the Evans group. I mean, I think we really could do with spending some more time with those boys, because
Some operators.
they really are some operators. Now, I know there was a certain machine that was there when you were there that we weren't allowed to video and show, which is very, very sad. But we do respect all manufacturers and what their prototypes and whatever machines they're running, so we'll not be sneaky that way. And I know when you were at KB Customs, there was one or a machine probably floating about as well that we're not allowed to video or see. But even just seeing and knowing and, you know, being trusted by these companies not to pass that information on is a nice thing. But Evans was fantastic. Like, the
chat with Martin himself.
Martin's initial chat with you, I thought, was absolutely phenomenal. And Josh was very good as well. A lot of nice footage, but really would like to get back there. And Watson's as a series, like, some of these guys out there, they're doing some work. Like,
Unreal.
You know.
We can't really take the credit for that one, though, can we?
No.
we can't take
Videoed that with myself.
Yeah.
A couple of weekends.
Like GoPro.
Anyhow,
Moving on.
there's a behind the scenes JCB video there that might let that cat out of the bag. That's not for us to talk about. But, well, obviously, Connor, you've been here a year now.
Yep.
Not just
A year in January.
a year in January. And I'm going to put the record straight. You weren't poached. Just putting that out there. Everybody seemed to think that. But you weren't poached. You left your previous job of your own accord.
Yep.
I think you were actually going to go away.
I was going to farm for the year, and then I was for New Zealand, and then one thing led to another, and
Yeah.
here I am.
Well, Big Boiler gets a bit of the credit.
So does the Cynic, apparently.
Scenic is the spot. But anyway, that's the story there. And so you've been with us nearly a year now. By the time this is out, very much a year. How have you got on? You and Craig certainly seem to have got on all right.
I think we can tolerate each other anyway. We've made a couple of decent videos between us, like.
Aye, will do.
But no, I enjoyed it now. It's, as you say, it's maybe a bit more, not cutthroat, but maybe closer to the wire than I'd be used to. You know, it's
Understand.
like,
Yeah.
I'd say probably McConaughey's would have been a prime example of that. Finish filming it on the Thursday and have it out for the Sunday, and
But it was epic.
oh, it was a good
Cool,
video.
like.
I enjoyed it, like, and I was.
You know.
That's the thing about McConaughey's boys too. Like, they're so laid back. I think there was a wedding on that day, and I remember like ringing Andrew and Ferret and them boys, and like, I know you're probably on the drink, but can you watch this video for me, please? It's going out tomorrow.
Hey, speaking of McConaughey's,
Aye.
what, they have caused some stir in the local scene.
Stirring the pot.
Mr. Class.
Big upsets.
Hold on. Class, hold on, I've got this here. Mr. Class tried to sell a new 970 and he got the old
think that was a long time coming, all the same.
Yeah. We took the first Krone. But yeah, bought a Krone, a 980, and so that's a step from a 970 to a 980, and that's a big step, 40 years. Now, there's no one saying that there'll be 2 Krones, there's no one saying that class is out the door, but Andrea's made the choice, and I fully support him. I think change is good, and you know, sometimes they say change is as good as anything else, but just don't use boys be changing. But you know,
Sam Monk says he'd take us back tomorrow.
no, he didn't. He told that to your face, but that's not what he told
That's
me.
what you telling me.
He says, oh, he just said you were good lads. That was as far as I went.
Like, give us a fleece, I can't think of that.
Give you a fleece. Even put your name on it and spelled it right.
I'm not mention my harvester driving now.
He mentioned your Jeep driving. The big F350 has now.
Oh, that is an animal, I think.
I haven't seen any pictures or anything of it yet. No, Sam was very hospitable and a big thank you to Sam because he really sorted you boys out.
Yeah.
Same with
really
Pat
looked
Nagel
after
too.
Yeah,
He
Pat.
was great too as well. Too.
And the
Two
Austins.
gentlemen, like.
The Austins.
Yeah.
Aye. And like at the end of the day, that makes, and I mean this, you know, I love you boys travelling. KB Custom as well, Blake
Yeah.
and Sam Donald.
Sam
Everybody. People sometimes say to us, why don't you go here? Why don't you go there? We go where we're looked after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's a massive cost sending guys around the world to film. Well, if they're going somewhere like Sam Monk, I just know get these boys to Melbourne and that's that sort of.
Yeah.
And it's not that we won't go anywhere else. It's that it's just easy. And he changes so much so fast and people want to see the changes.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and he wants them. He wants young lads going out there, and it's good to see the type of business it is, because, like everything, you had heard stories before you went out. You thought you'd heard stories before you went out. Could you go and work there for a year?
100%.
Could you stick the hours?
Probably
then?
not. That's the thing. Probably not. I would need to deal with Red Bull or something, I guess.
But other than that,
As I say, like, he's a gentleman. Like, I no bother at all. Well, I ran over a kangaroo on his 350 one night, but.
what?
Oh, well, we were coming down the road, and Sam, I'd say that man slept for about 3 hours in the past 2 years. I was like, sure, I'll drive for a while. And we're coming down, and now, don't get me wrong, I was starting to, like,
I'd say you're right.
what do you call, you know, when you start to drift off or you start to imagine things, and the next thing was this kangaroo just came out on a break, but I didn't nail it. I was just sort of, like, caressed underneath the Jeep and then drove over it with the wheel, so it was, or not, I think me and Sam gone all right.
I'd be probably the big rhubarb on her.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, probably just a splatter of blood and nothing. All we have here are deers, and I can assure you, a deer versus a Turag is not the same result.
No.
So, no, thanks to everybody who looked after you lads, and the same when we head over to, you know, factories and things, we do find ourselves fairly spoiled and fairly well looked after.
Even the likes of Vogelsang too, I forgot to mention them.
Absolutely.
Like, took us to Germany, put us up for 3-4 days, like, and 100% real
And,
gentleman.
and at the end of the day, I stand by this. That's all we ask for. Is just look after the guys, look after the girls, whoever's there, and we'll do the rest. You know, and then it gives us a real good feeling for it. But yeah, no,
Makes it a lot easier too. Like you just go, we just show up, and then it's all sorted.
Yeah.
aye, there's a Jeep, because
Yeah.
hiring cars is okay, but hiring cars and in round farmland.
Yeah. That per expedition at KV, hey, that's... I'm glad I wasn't paying the insurance on
Bad
that.
touch.
Right, thanks.
Suppose they're
What would you rate the three?
on New Zealand.
America, New
New
Zealand.
Zealand first. When I was in America, I thought this was the best thing ever. This can't get better. Then I went to Monks. And I did get better. And then I went to New Zealand. I was like, as I say,
What made Monks better though for you?
I don't know. I suppose.
I got a couple of Snapchats. Maybe explained it to me.
No, I'm not going to ignore it. That's a lovely roof.
That'd be great.
What do you think, Craig? Was that maybe the difference, Craig?
Must be.
Anyways, I think I'm going to have to edit this video myself.
Sorry, I'm on this one.
No, I think it was just, like, it's a whole lot greener. It's a lot more like home. A lot of Irish boys around you. It's probably a lot more relatable. Like, them boys in America, and they're like, what would they be, 2-3 hours apart? They're just, that's wilderness, like, really.
Yeah.
And it's flat, and there's,
Understand. But there's something very magical about, I spent time personally with Fredericks at their HQ in Alden, a small town. And coming from the busy life that we maybe have here at GRASSMEN, it was just, I found it heavenly. Now, maybe after a year, maybe after 2 years, maybe after 3 years, I would find it a little bit, I'll not say boring, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas I found then when I went to Australia out with Sam, there was a couple of wee things we did in Melbourne, which was cracker. JCB, when they found out we were there, and Sam goes every year, I suppose, because he's one of JCB's biggest agricultural customers, the Melbourne Grand Prix. So we've got to experience a couple of things that you don't normally ever get to do. So the big city was there, so you could go to the big city and have a bit of crack. You're probably ages away from a city in places, but I've never done New Zealand now. I plan to. I would like to try and get out. I'd like to go and just see some of the people that have featured in our videos. Just go and say hello. Like even back to the lads at Green to Gold, like just go, just walk in, shake their hand, thank them, and hopefully the videos that we've done in the past and coming up are of some value to them, and they're certainly good. And for our viewers, I stand by this. I think it's very important, to let young ones see that there is a slightly different life out there. And I'm not saying that we want everybody to emigrate forever. We don't want a complete brain drain, but I think it is good to go and experience.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Favorite machine that you filmed this year?
Aidan Wickham's 980.
Okay.
Animal. Absolute animal. Best going harvester I've ever seen in my life.
Seriously? And you've seen the 990s and etc.
990s, I've seen 1180s, I've seen them all. Best going thing I've ever seen.
I thought one of us 30 series? Was in that
7.5.
video?
What about his M series? I wouldn't be fond of them like that thing.
Isn't it funny how the bit of noise in Black Creek just makes you like anything
Yeah.
Oh,
if it's there?
you're just like a dog looking at a bone.
Yee-hoo! Craig, same question. Favourite machine?
Yeah, Far was pretty cool to see with that new head.
Why? Yeah, and they were sound lads.
Aye, Conan's and Butt Brothers as well. They were.
I think the best bit about
yeah.
Conan's was when we were at the Highland and all Conan's boys were like, oh, you boys are coming to film us. We're like, no, we're not. And the next thing was you texting the Sunday like, oh, by the way, yours are for the borders tomorrow.
So, one of the ways to work these boys is keep them in a very short leash and just fire them out to get the job. That's right. I had that all organised. Usually, they were like, it's fine. We'll hire you a car. Ruth, hire them a car. She hired you a car at the airport. Sure, we're at the airport anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It actually worked out well.
No, it did work out well.
And I can't remember what Ruth and I did. We were away with the lorry down to the Yorkshire with one, and on the way back up home, we all rendezvoused,
Yeah, that's right.
and you fixed the trailer.
That was a tight squeeze.
That was a test. Well, that's why you fixed it, Connor, or I would have tried. You fixed that, and that was all sorted. And then we all come home, and we had a great video made there. Great fella. Favourite machine for me? Oh, I'm going to go left of field here. Going to go really left of field. There's two in my head. That New Holland combine. That new CR12 or whatever it is, or 11.
11 or 12. 11.
The young lad that talked us around it and through it, it was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I'm really going to go left the field here. Praise. I found that Country Crest set up, the spud harvester and the technology just...
I just think it's mind blowing. Like Fredericks was the exact same with that JD link, and you pull the chaser up beside them and just let go. I think it's mad.
But they're doing that, and you're going into a big, massive chaser. You can imagine Country Crest had that right down to like one. They had that right down to 1 point. Like your potato boxes, and your machine was the width of the box. Like, I just thought that was
impressive.
And to be honest, I used to be so scared of all this technology, but the more and more I see it around me, the more and more I think, you know what, we could maybe handle this. So much so that I've agreed to a certain machine next year for the 350, different to the likes of the big wagon, something that's going to, we can send prescription maps to from the office. It's going to involve section control. Hopefully, look, things happen. Hopefully this happens, that we can really show that an average layman like myself can get this level of technology, but we'll not say too much in case it doesn't happen. So that's what we're looking for. But let's just say we'll get the 900s back on her. She'll be looking proper.
So you haven't an ag bought yet?
No.
That's another cool machine.
I was curious, like,
You know,
I was like playing the Xbox nearly, I thought.
there's that much happening in a year, like you forget.
I just
Forget so
But
much.
that's good. But no, that for me, look, of course, I love watching. See, when you boys brought out your McConaughey video, I thought it was class, and I enjoyed watching like Wickham's, Cronin's, Trevor Cronin, the Cronin brothers. It just, I sat there and I watched it and I nearly was crying. It was so sincere and such good lads, and pushing on, and I just think it's great. It's great. And then Sean, you're down with the main man. Sean Collins. And when you I know it sounds crazy, but you add these boys all into the mix, and you've O'Mahony's and Mark Troy, and and people keep saying, I want you to go and see, there's so many more people out there, whatever. And I'm like, I know, but like the ones that we go to are class.
Yeah.
And it was at Killins, people can't get enough of these lads. We've been videoing them now for 10 years. Back and forward, we've been videoing at Killins, and
We've done 2 this year.
yeah, but it worked out well. These guys are forward-thinking lads, pushing on, and they're buying so much equipment, new type of things, that they're cool to video because
busy.
they're busy. Exactly. 2025 is literally around the corner. It's only a day away now, 2 days away. When's this going out, Craig?
One of them days, anyway.
Aye, 29th or something. So we're now embarking on 2025, and if we get to the 2nd of April, we're 15 years old as a brand. And when I look at everything we have achieved over the 15 years, it's mind blowing. From making, starting off with basic DVDs, capturing hearts and minds, to then making the choice to push the business down the brand route. And that was only because I just felt that, DVDs were changing, and that form of video was changing, and people's attention span was shortening, and all your different social medias, like TikTok, especially Snapchat, TikTok, we changed our outlook, and we went just for we call them like free of charge episodes, which we just enjoy doing. It's our way of giving back. And we pushed it down the route of the brand. I think it's fair to say we've been very successful. We've had another superb Christmas campaign. The place was busy. It was buzzing. There was lots of orders going out, and that's really and truly all we can ask for. We maybe put ourselves under too much pressure to have that Sunday video and have that Wednesday video, but I think if you let the standards drop, you have to try and keep pushing those videos out. But 2025 is coming. You may wonder why with these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 old girls in behind us. It may not happen, but one of my background plans was to try and have these big old girls ready for work, doing something next year. We'll have the original Magnum here. She is getting the hitch modified. Other than that, she is good to go. Might try tuning it a little bit. I have a man on board for looking at setting her up a wee bit more horsepower, looking at the radiator and stuff. In terms of painting her, there's very little to do to her. I would just be doing the wheels in what's red, because everything else is original and nice. I know the 3690 and the big old John Deere got the full resto, but that was more a personal thing for me. The big Dutz is fixed. I would like a new pickup hitch in her. So if Connor and I get an evening, maybe Owen or something, if we screw the pickup hitch off her, I can take it down to Dara Hand. He'll have a go at making me something. He's made a few hitches for me. He's made the hitch on the Genesis. He's made the hitch on the one of the 11090s that we used to have. He's made the hitch for the 47. And he made the hitch that came for the 1455. So 2025, yes, that's my plan. 15 years, 164 is my real dream, to get my old lorry out. For nothing else, this is purely for me. I want my old lorry, my original lorry, back on the road to celebrate the 15 years. Not that there's anything wrong with the two lorries we have, Ruth's and the new 660S and the 560. I would like to give it a tiny bit of a tidy, and I would love to get the three of them together next year and hit a truck show somewhere with the three of them.
Yeah.
Not with selling merch or anything, just have them all there. What do you think of that plan, the old tractors doing something?
Sounds good, aye. Sounds interesting.
What would we have them do?
Probably have the Ford towing the John Deere's out a hole somewhere, and then I don't know about the rest, but
They're not Tugwell or Cook spec, like. It's not that good, like. Do you know what my dream is? Big baler.
oh, big square baler.
Big square. That's what I would love to
Heston.
have. Maybe these ones more so than those. I would love to have the Genesis, the 47, and the Magnum on a big baler. I think those three away on a big baler would be class.
Yep.
Pretty
love-
mega.
I'd love to see the likes of my Dutz. I'd love an air kit in her. I'm actually asked. I just can't find it. But if I could find an air kit for her, I'd have a triaxle Smith on her.
Yes.
I reckon she'd be mint with a triaxle Smith. And the 3690, I'd love to get her. I've a 10X that we're meant to start splitting and building back together. Connor, we haven't got that length yet. But you have no idea. I could literally, if I had two good throws of a stone, I could land it in the yard where I first seen a 3690. And it was in this country. And your man that owned it had a 10X. And I just to wet myself to see that as a kid. You're laughing, but I did. And that's why I have the 3690 purely based on him. And I'd love to bring that dream alive of the 10X and the 3690.
That would get her sorted out.
What else? Anything else, boys?
Don't know. Maybe a bit more playing with machinery rather than filming. I would like a bit.
That's fun, like. Playing's fun. Looking at me
So
funny there.
Who's going to do the filming?
Asher Catherine could tear away. Catherine and Rachel.
So you visions, you drive an RV harvester we bought?
Well, I'll give it a go, like.
We need to make sure it's the Smith below you. chance of putting it in it.
Good wide.
Don't want to talk up too much about that harvester for we had our issues.
Should go well next year.
She was starting to go that last night. We had her out now, in fairness.
Oh, Conley's.
Aye. I seen him in the Ground Coffee Shop yesterday. I says, see you in May. I have no doubt, he says.
My man loves it.
So the favourite machine you drove was harvesters?
Aye. I mean,
John Deere harvesters?
no, definitely not.
So you're telling...
Disgusting.
Well,
I mean,
Sam Monk bought a John Deere
I know
harvester.
that's the one I drove, and I did not like her.
Ugh.
No, not for me. I don't get what people has about a John Deere harvester. Like, it's just, you feel that every blade of grass, you hear every noise. Like, the joystick's just levitating in thin air. Like, there's nothing nice about her, bar this big edit-proof screen. But, you know, like, it's... I mean, you can't go by a class, really.
But I know loads of people have John Deere harvesters, and I always say they need a new joystick, and they're like, we wouldn't want a new joystick. I would want a new joystick.
Aye,
but-
100%. I
I
don't
guess
know.
what you're used to,
Yeah.
more than anything.
And what are you saying? Favourite thing you did?
I think I was driving that 970.
Even though you did it really badly.
Yeah, well,
No, that was
See-
960. It wasn't too bad on the
you just
970.
caught me in the bad angle. Like, see, the thing is with me, I just say something, I start spelling something, then I panic and forget where all the buttons are because I'm not that used to it yet. And then I just press the wrong one. Shit just goes.
Oh, well, okay. I think for me it was the wagon. I mean, yeah, the tractor probably could have worked with a bigger wagon, but when the conditions were wet,
I actually knew about it.
she knew about it, but
Even that dry day, yeah, that field across from the barn mine that Saturday.
it was very soapy.
Aye.
That hill is the problem. And I think she just needed... I'd say if she'd had her big 900s on, it would have made some difference.
Aye.
But like the speed I could pick, like I just felt like I had no limits.
And the chop length out of that thing. But you may as well be on a harvester, really.
I would love, hey, if it was ever possible, I'd love to be, you know, beside the harvester and just seeing who can pick it up the fastest. I understand you have to go back to the yard and the field and all of that, but like I just wonder what would pick, because that wagon could lift grass. Like
Well, I mean, she's only in Calabac, you know, like maybe.
She's not far away now. We could maybe pull the owl 7, 9, 80 in beside her, see what happens.
It's not a million miles away, like.
Block the spout. Maybe get another one. But she could lift grass now, no doubt about it. I think it was just my own tractor, able to set her up exactly the way I want. No stress from Pottinger, no real pressure.
Yeah.
Just
play.
Just was able to go and play.
Yeah.
I enjoy. And there's not enough of that. I agree totally, because we're always beating against the weather. If the weather would settle its head for a year, give you 5 or 6 nice settled weeks, you could do some amount of damage. Like,
Yeah.
The dream.
you could build up enough of footage and, you know, be able to take time and play.
That's the thing.
Favourite character you've met this year? Anyone bounce out at you?
You go first. I need to think about that one.
Well, I know where he's going. He's already said it was his favourite film.
Well, I met him before, but he is an absolute character. Just like
Gussie Quinn. What's his real name, Craig?
Dermot, I think.
Just Gussie.
I would never have got that from.
I think it is, yeah.
What about you, Connor? Character? Who stands out?
I don't know. It's hard to go by the Killen boys. There's always a good chat with Adam.
Oh, fair point, yeah.
Sean Collins, Sam Monk, Pa Nagel, like any of them boys really. I'd say maybe actually I'll give a shout out to Cammy. I interviewed at KB, that Scottish fella. Just an absolute head case, like.
Aye, most commies from Scotland are head cases. So there's a boy from Scotland called Cammy does something with sheep.
I think that boy was from Ayr as well, funny enough. It just must be an Ayr thing, really.
Must be that owl bit of... See, the owl air comes over and it catches a wee taste of us here,
Yeah.
and then bounces on over to them. I think that's what happens there.
But no, he was a head case. He was a good enough fella. He's actually in New Zealand now with Tucker and all them boys too. Like, so many different boys. You meet so many different characters too. Like, and
Aye, there's some...
I'd say that's probably the good thing about this job too. Like, you meet so many boys and you're just never.
Aye, some real good characters.
Yeah.
Well, I think your fella, the Cronin brothers, came across to me as three good characters, good lads. And you're right in what you say. Everybody there that you're talking about was good lads. Michael Woods, enjoyed.
Funny I said I forgot about Woods.
He was a good character. And he had a great podcast. And if you haven't watched it, go watch it. But I thought he did a very good podcast with Cammy.
I started listening to it this morning.
Yeah,
there,
fed by farmers. Just listening to his story about how he started out and the hours that he worked in the railways and all. And this is the bit that I always say. People always go, oh, look at you, boy. You. I know people maybe don't mean it, but sometimes people can be very superficial and they look at what you have and they judge everything based on that, but they don't, as I always say, and it's not by saying, people always see the trophies, but they never see the training ground. And when you listen to the likes of Michael and the Woodsy, and you listen to the work and the effort and the hours and the late nights and the railways and all that they put in to get the foot in the door to get going. And it was a very similar story here as well. There was countless nights, all night driving, which we probably shouldn't have been doing, but we did. And that's the bottom line is sometimes you have to take the risks and do what you have to do to get the few quid to try and get going. And then when you get going, you need a few boxes and things to line up and tick for you for it to work. And when it works, yeah, for us, we just, if we get a few quid, we like to buy something that's kind of, sometimes we'll have to buy serious things, Boo. Yeah, hold on, serious things. Like embroidery machines and things that are actually making the company money. Then sometimes you get to buy tractors.
Or harvesters.
The harvester. I don't really know why I bought the harvester, to tell you the honest truth, but she's there.
It's like fixing a car. You don't like to buy the bits to keep the car going, but the nice looking bits are fun to buy.
You speak from experience.
100%. Spending the mechanical money. Yeah, it's like putting the engine in the ditch, and you'd be like, but if we could take her to Johnny's with the same amount of money, we could have repainted her and had her looking mint, But that was another interesting video, by the way, where Diesel Dick, as he goes by, Cusick,
Good
main tech, good Armoy man. Seen the light, moved to the arts. But little did I realise I bought a tractor, then there was only 400 engines ever made, and those engines were covering the combines and whatever else Dutz had them using. So, yeah, cool, interesting. So that's it. I think if we...
Another honourable mention for 2024, the bags in the car. That was a good moment.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Was that a good moment for you, Craig?
It was a brilliant moment. Yeah.
I like your wee...
And the Tower Centre too.
Yeah, it was up there.
That was pretty cool.
That was pretty good. Look, we could be really horrible here, Craig, and slag you off a lot, but we're not going to do that. But I think in terms of you personally, I think Connor coming along this year has been a great help. And, you're an absolute flying it, like editing-wise, Connor, who can touch him? Truthfully.
Not really. Like, I mean, the bluegrass, he done it in 2 days, like.
So...
himself.
And, you take the odd wee bit of heat, don't you, Craig?
Happens to everyone.
But by the same token, for me, you turning up to the Tower Centre, taking your car in there, seeing everybody coming to see you in the car and loving it, seeing the merch flying out, that had to have been some moment for you. And yes, you've listened to Connor. I don't know why you listened to Connor and myself. And, in terms of interviewing, etc., I think you've nailed it now. I think you're flying. And that's what and that's me being genuine, and that's what it's all about. Learning, listening to the feedback and making it better. But when we go to shows there now and they're like, "Where's Craig?" And you're like, "Huh? Craig? You want a photo with him?" And they're not only joking. And I think it's great, but the Tower Centre was a nice moment now. I enjoyed seeing your... I was annoyed that the 306 wasn't invited in. We'll have to do something with her next year now.
Put a starter in her.
That was what I was like to say.
But she drives lovely.
Oh, yeah. I had a lot of fun driving her up here now.
Some reek out of her too.
Aye. The boot's probably a bit black now.
I should be alright.
Yeah,
We'll not worry
should
about
be
that.
dead on.
Anyway, so everybody, thank you very, very much for your support to us, to the lads. Hopefully next year we can get bigger, stronger and better. Hopefully I don't get any bigger. I'm trying to get weirder, actually. That's the big plan for me in 2025. Try and keep gemming it and see if we can fit inside some of these cabs. And hopefully the lads keep buying out some nice content. You have some nice content in the pipeline from America, Australia and New Zealand to come up, and it will be no time till we're back at the slurry.
Yeah, another
Slurry.
month, really.
And April, May soon comes around, like
Yeah.
when boys will be thinking about silage again.
Anywhere to that's Red Rock. Or when I talk about her.
Yeah, Red Rock silage trailer and Red Rock dump trailer. My original Red Rock dump trailer was sold by Red Rock. And then I just haven't got my new one yet. And then I bought one of Boiler's, 12 tons, I think.
12,
or 13. It's 13.
They identify as, I think.
They identify as a 13 ton, but they probably hold the same as like your 14 ton classic cane or classic. So yeah, I was looking to get her home hopefully for next silage season, and the tandem axle smith is there, and sold the 3 axle smith again, so need a new one of them to come. And yeah, no other buying in the pipeline, to be honest. Sold the 110 Fiat
Yeah.
to an absolutely remarkable family in memory of their son who passed away now a couple of years ago. So yeah, that was emotional. That was a very emotional day now, leaving the tractor down to them, the Barrett family. So I hope it does them really well. Hope they love it. That was Ricky's dream, and that's what they have on the windscreen already. The big saying Ricky's dream. So just shouting at me to wind her up here. There's 1 minute left on the card. Anyway, all good, boys. Happy?
Yep.
Keep an eye out for the future stuff now.
Yeah, please do. And look, I hope you enjoyed this wee sit down. We never actually do this. We could do more meetings like this. But anyway, everybody, thank you very much for supporting us. And remember, everybody, it's okay to not be okay. If you need a bit of help, please reach out. We all can suffer the odd time. Cheers.
And Happy New Year.
Yay! Happy New Year.
2025.
Yep.